Hi, and welcome back to another motivational moment with me, your coach, Michelle. So, for the time that is ours to share, I want to talk about how to have a made up mind. Y'all, that's deep right there. How to have a made up mind. So, having a made up mind means that you know what you want and you know where you're going. And this is a problem that many people face. They don't really know what they want, so they have no idea how to go about getting it. Well, I'm thankful that I have a made up mind, and I'm going to show you how to have one as well. So, Romans 12 and 2, and this comes from the NIV version, says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." Romans 8 and 6, also from the NIV version, says, "The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace." So when you have a made up mind, here's what happens. Number one, you decide to never give up. Pain and setbacks are part of life, but we need to stop putting a period where God has put a comma. I need somebody to hear that, because somebody in the back of the room didn't hear that. You got a little busy. You were turning on the water or tending to the baby. But I'm going to say it one more time. You all need to stop putting a period where God has put a comma. We all have fallen down at some point in our lives, but if you're watching this video right now, that means that you're still here. So you fell down, but you are still here. That also means that you got back up and you kept going. When you have a made up mind, you can't, don't, and won't give up, not on yourself or the people that are counting on you. Did you know that there are people out there watching you? They're watching your every move. I mean, your every move. Do you hear what I'm saying? They are depending on you to keep going so that they have the strength to keep going. That's why they're watching you. They say, you know what? I love watching Michelle. I love watching her motivation because she motivates me to want to keep going even when I feel like giving up. So always know that no matter what you do, somebody's always watching you. So when you give up on life and just throw in the towel, somebody's watching you and says, well, hey, if Michelle give up on her goals, guess what? I can give up on mine. No, unacceptable. Unacceptable. Okay. Number two, you start to focus on what's going good and what's not, and not on what isn't. So when you have a made up mind, your wins are what matters the most, and you become determined to take what's working to the next level. You also begin to appreciate what you have, no matter how much or how little it may be. You begin to appreciate where you are right now as you work towards where you're going. You begin to appreciate the fact that you are more than enough, and even if God doesn't give you anything else, guess what? You're going to be all right. That's powerful right there. That is powerful when you say, I'm good right now. God doesn't give me another thing. He's blessed me enough as it is. Now, Lord, I don't want to end it right here, but I'm just saying, you have to be content where you are until you get where you're going. I get up every morning. I thank God for where I am. I thank God for what I have. I thank God for who I am as I work towards becoming a better person, as I work towards doing more, being more, all that other good stuff. But I'm always grateful. I never forget where I've come from. And I never forget that I'm thankful where I am. Because guess what? God can choose not to bless you another day in your life. And you need to be all right with that. That's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. I wish I had time to unpack that for you, but I don't. So we're going to keep it moving. I'm sorry, where did I left off? See, I got caught up. And I forgot where I left off. Ooh. Okay, in the Bible, God tells Satan, you can test Job, but you can't have him. Ooh, I love that. I love that. In the Bible, let's say that again. God tells Satan, you can test Job, but you cannot have him. See, Job had a made up mind, and even though he lost everything that was near and dear to him, he refused to curse God and die. He lost everything. I mean, everything from his spouse on down. But he refused to curse God and die, even though he was hurting on the inside because he had lost everything. He refused. You know why? Because he had a made up mind. We need to have that kind of a mindset when it comes to achieving our goals. Now, let me just say this and I'm going to move on. God allowed Satan to test Job because he already knew Job's character. He already knew that Job believed in him and Job had faith in him. And he knew that Job would not give in and just die because Satan had taken everything else away from him. Ooh, y'all, that's powerful. Number 3, you attract people who want the same thing or the same things that you do. So when you're on a mission, you find that God will send people in your path that are purpose driven just like you. This person or those people, they're going to help you stay on track and keep pushing forward when you feel like giving up. In turn, you will do the same thing for them. This person or those people will also put the people, places, and things in your path to help you get to the next level. That's powerful right there. Because let me go back. Attracting the people that want the same thing that you want, that's powerful, you guys. You have to have that. Let me tell you something. You cannot be in a circle of friends who don't want anything out of life, yet you do. Because eventually, your desire to want more out of life is slowly going to leave because those people that don't want anything, honey, they're going to zap that energy right on away from you. And before you know it, you're going to end up being just like them, being content where you are, not wanting anything else out of life. So it's important that you surround yourself with the right people. I surround myself with people who are going places, who want things out of life. Now, their wants may not be the same as mine. Their goals may not be the same as mine, but we're all purpose driven. And so we hang out to support one another. You understand what I'm saying? So let me do a quick recap and I promise I will let you be. So today I talked about how to have a made up mind. And then I gave you 2 scripture references, which I will put in the description box. I gave you Romans 12:2 and Romans 8:6. And then I said, when you have a made up mind, here's what happens. Number 1, I said you decide to never give up. When you have let me tell you something. It's just like I have a made up mind for wanting to get my weight down. If you looked at me, I promise you, you would not be able to guess my weight because what I weigh and what I look like are 2 different things. Can I just say that? And I know a lot of that is because I carry a lot of muscle on my frame because as you know, I'm a power lifter. And so I don't worry too much about the scale. I do think about and focus a little bit more on my measurements. But I do want the scale to come down. It's coming down just a little bit, you know. I have to stop snacking and have my little cheat meals, but I'm working on it. But where I was going with this is that when you have a made up mind, you decide you're not going to give up. And so when I get on that scale once a month, the first of every month, it may not always say what I want it to say, but guess what? I refuse to give up. I'm going to keep going because I know that I'm going to get to my goal. It may take a little longer than some people, but I'm going to get to that goal and I'm not going to give up. That's why when I wake up in the mornings, I haven't had a lot of sleep and I'm tired. I could give up and just say, oh, the heck with it. I'm going to roll back on over and go to sleep. But I'm not going to give up. You know why? Because my goals are too important for me. They mean too much to me to give up. And then number 2, I talked about you start to focus on what's going good and not what isn't. See, when you are determined, you can't focus on what's not working. I mean, you acknowledge it and say, okay, you know what? I tried ABC. That didn't work. So I'm going to write that down in my journal. This is why I keep telling y'all you need a journal. So A, B, and C is not working. That's all right. You have other letters in the alphabet. I'm going to go with D, E, F. And let me try those things. Because those things, well, let's say you did A, B, C, X, Y, Z. ABC didn't work out. Okay, you make a note of that. But XYZ is working out. So let me figure out how I can build on XYZ and take that to the next level. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's what having a made up mind will have you doing. And then number three, I said, you attract people who want the same thing. When you have a made up mind, I promise you, you will start to see that the people around you that don't want anything, that are okay with being content, they're going to start to fall away. I'm not saying you have to get rid of them. I'm not saying you have to unfriend them on social media. You can still be friends with them. Y'all might even go and get a meal every now and then, but they cannot take up residence in your inner circle. That space is reserved for people who really want something out of life. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's a difference. And if I had more time, I could unpack that for you just a little bit more so you can fully understand. But when you have a made up mind, I promise you, you're going to start to attract like-minded people. You're going to attract the people that can help you get to the next level, be it personally or in your business. So, you guys, that's all I have. I hope something that I said resonates with you and helps you to decide that you are going to have a made up mind. It is so important. It is so important that you have a made up mind. So if you're new to my channel, I want to say welcome. Thank you for joining me. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to tap that bell because I don't want you to miss anything that I have to offer. If this is not your first rodeo, welcome back, you guys. I missed you. And I'm so thankful because I can't do what I do without each and every one of you. I truly cannot. And so for that, I am so thankful. And so I also want to say this. Y'all know the drill. You know my spiel. I love you no matter what. I love you when you're going up. I love you when you're coming down. I love you when you're going in. I love you when you're coming out. But most importantly, I love you when nobody else likes you. And that's a check that you can take to the bank at any time in cash. And it will always be good. Because I'm going to always love you no matter what. Many of you I've never met. Many of you I would never get a chance to meet. And that's all right. Because I still love each and every one of you. And I want nothing but the best for you. So I want you all to decide that you are ready to take your life to the next level. Go out there, be all that you have been called to be, because the best is waiting on you and the best is waiting on me. So now I also want you to be the reason that someone feels welcome, seen, heard, valued, loved, and supported. Till next time, take care.